Hi Virgo, welcome to your love reading for April 2019. This is Elizabeth from channeledguidance.com. Okay, so I already shuffled the decks for you, and as you can see, you had a few jumping cards. Let me show you what they are. And I feel like they all go together, so I'm just going to turn them over all at once. You have the Fool, you have the Magician, and then the card from this deck is the Page of Swords. And this is actually the one that jumped first. So the Page of Swords does represent, to me, the truth in some way. Like, someone could be speaking the truth to you, maybe how they really feel about you, maybe why they really left, or perhaps you need to be completely honest with yourself or with another person. And from this deck over here, these two cards did jump together. The Fool is some type of new beginning for you. For those who are single, it could be that there's a new person coming into your life. For those who are coupled, it could be that your relationship is not over. You have to trust that there's going to be a new beginning, but it did jump with the Magician. So this changes the message a little bit because the Magician is all about you. So it seems like for the sign of Virgo that there is a new opportunity for you in love here, whether it's somebody new or an ex or an existing partner. There is a new beginning, but this is in your hands because the Magician is here. It's going to depend on what you do. Okay, so let's put these back and we'll see if they come up again or something like them. Let's start with this deck right here. Let's put it in the middle. Okay. Let's see what comes up. This is a love reading for the sign of Virgo for April 2019. Knight of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. The Emperor. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. The Six of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. Four of Wands. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. The Sun. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. The Eight of Pentacles. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. Here's the Page of Swords again. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. The Lovers. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. And the Three of Swords. Okay, what's the most important thing that Virgo needs to hear about their love life for April 2019? The card that you have, Virgo, is the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles does imply that your love life does require a lot of effort, and you do have the Eight of Pentacles here, which means they're pretty much kind of the same energy. Really, you have to really work really hard to build up a relationship. And this does mean that you have to work together. It can't all just be you. Although you did have the Magician, it can't all just be you. It can't all just be your partner. You have to work together. So we'll come back to this to see how it ties in with the rest of the reading. Also, if you would like to get a private reading with me, just go to my website, channeledguidance.com. I'll put a link down below. Also a link to my Facebook, and you should be watching this on YouTube channel, Channeled Guidance Tarot. Okay, so let's see what you have going on here. Let's start at the top. You have the Knight of Cups, the Emperor, and the Six of Wands. So there is some movement here with the Knight of Cups. These are positive changes in your love life. The Knight of Cups is always positive, whether, this could be somebody new coming in for you. You did have the Fool jump for you when I was properly shuffling. There could be somebody new, but sometimes the Knight of Cups just means that there's positive movement in your love life. And yes, for sometimes it can be a proposal of some kind, either a marriage proposal, a proposal to get back together, to make things work. But you do have the Emperor there. The Emperor, this is about taking control, taking charge of what's going on in your love life right now. Remember that you did have the Magician jump for you when I was properly shuffling. So they're kind of, to me, they're very similar. It's like whatever's going on in your love life right now, if you want to see the positive changes that we see in the first row here, the Knight of Cups and the Six of Wands, which is victory, it's really going to depend on what you do, because the Emperor is all about taking control, staying in the driver's seat. So it could be that these changes in your love life, they're circling around you. Yes, positive things. It could even be new people coming in. But there is something that you have to do. You have to take control to create the kind of outcome that you want. Now, for everyone, since it's a general reading, it's hard to say what that is. It could be that you have to make yourself more available if you're single. For those who are already coupled, it could be that there's changes you have to make in the relationship. Maybe you have to steer the relationship in the right direction. This is about taking control. Okay, so in the second row here, you have the Four of Wands, the Sun, and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is, a relationship. This is stability. This can even be marriage for some. You do have the Sun and the Eight of Pentacles. So what we're seeing here is that a relationship or marriage is not perfect. And they never are. You have the Eight of Pentacles saying there's a relationship that maybe is destined for greatness. And this can be, marriage or a long-term relationship, commitment. It's destined for this energy here. But it does require a lot of effort. That doesn't mean you have to give up on it, though. You do have to try really hard to get here, which is that long-term energy. And then you have the Sun right in the middle. So the Sun is promising success. There is positive energy around a relationship that's not perfect, or a marriage that's not perfect. It's not ideal, but you do have to try really hard. And again, with the main energy being the Three of Pentacles, if you really feel like your marriage or your relationship is going down the drain and you feel like giving up, this reading is telling you not to do that. It just requires a lot of effort from both you and your partner. You have the most positive card in the deck here, right smack in the middle, telling you there is success around a relationship that you're in, or a marriage that you're in. But somebody has to take control. And this card would only be here if things maybe are chaotic and you feel like they're falling apart. You have to take control of what's happening in your love life right now. Now look at this bottom row. You have the Page of Swords. So this card's significant because it jumped when I was properly shuffling. I showed it to you and then it came up again. So the Page of Swords, this is communication between you and your partner. And this can even be honesty. It could be that you have something that you have to say. You have to be completely honest. Again, this is taking control, taking charge. Maybe you have to tell your partner that you still love them. Maybe you have to tell someone that you want them back, or you want things to work. You have the Lovers. So for some of you, this is, to me, the Lovers represents a relationship that you want very much. You very much want either to be in a relationship with somebody. Maybe it's someone that, you're just interested in, you want to be with them. Again, you have to take control. The Emperor and the Magician showing up. If you want this relationship, you have to speak your truth. Otherwise, let me just go with that scenario. Otherwise, you're going to end up here, brokenhearted and alone. I hate to say that, but that's kind of what the cards are spelling out. For those of you where maybe you're not in a relationship, but there is someone that you want to be with. Either you're going to speak the truth, you're going to speak up, or heartache. Now, for those who are already coupled, this is the same thing. You have to really speak the truth. If you're really kind of upset with the way a relationship or a marriage is going, you really have to be the one to take control. That's just what this reading is screaming for this month. Otherwise, there's a potential for misunderstandings, for fighting. For some of you, yes, breakups or divorces. For some of you, not everyone, it can be that, because they're both here. And sometimes the Lovers does represent a choice. For some of you, it could be that you don't want to be in a relationship with someone anymore. Again, that's not going to be for everyone, but it can be that, with the Lovers, again, there's a choice. And maybe it's time to really speak your truth, that maybe you want to go your separate ways. Again, that's not for everyone, but that is part of the message. And sometimes the Lovers does represent the sign of Gemini. So for some of you, it can be that there's a Gemini involved. Okay, let me get a few more for you. Let's see what other messages there are. What other messages are there for the sign of Virgo for April? You have the Seven of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. You have the Queen of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. And the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, there's confusion around you. And, I mentioned that sometimes the Lovers represents a choice, which we see right here. And this is usually about choices as well. So there is some type of choice for Virgo. Which path are you going to take? Who are you going to choose? The Seven of Cups also just means that you're very confused. There's a lot of confusion and you're not seeing things clearly right now because maybe you're going through something really emotional, and it can be with someone who is a water sign. You have the Queen of Cups, which represents Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Male or female, sun, moon, or rising. It can represent you if you have a moon or a rising sign in a water sign. I see a lot of confusion here, and you're being told to look at things very carefully with the Page of Pentacles. This means think before you act. And it could be that, for some of you, you might be thinking of ending a relationship because you have the breakup card here. I would advise you to really, don't jump the gun, because there is some confusion around Virgo. You're not seeing things clearly. And with this card here, this is telling you, like, you best look at the situation very, very carefully before taking action, because this reading is saying there's a relationship or marriage around you that's not ideal. I just keep getting that it's not perfect. It's going to require a lot of work, but I mean, there's amazing energy around it. You can be extremely happy with the sun. I mean, this is positive energy. This is success. A relationship does not have to end, especially if you feel like, you know, there's nothing I can do. You can. You have the Emperor telling you you've got to take control to have this sense of victory here from the Six of Wands. Okay, let's see what the confirmation deck wants to tell you, Virgo. What other messages are there for the sign of Virgo for April? You have the Nine of Swords. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. You have the Ten of Cups. Love reading for the sign of Virgo for April. And then you have the Devil. What's the most important message that Virgo needs to hear about their love life for April 2019? The Seven of Cups. So this is a repeat card because it is right here. So something is going on with the sign of Virgo where you're just really lost when it comes to your love life. You're really lost and you're really confused. Take control. The Emperor is all about staying in the driver's seat. Don't lose control, because you also have the Devil here. I mean, yeah, I mean, you have the Devil and you have the Nine of Swords. So your thoughts may be playing tricks on you right now. So kind of hold back on major decisions, because you may not be seeing clearly right now. I think we still have Mercury in retrograde. You might be imagining the worst when it comes to a relationship or a marriage. You're not seeing things clearly. But again, this can represent choices as well. Okay, so let's look at these three. You have the Nine of Swords. So the Nine of Swords is telling me that you're doing a lot of worrying about your love life right now. You may be doing a lot of worrying about a relationship. You may be doing a lot of worrying about a marriage. This usually means you're imagining the worst. But keep in mind, the Nine of Swords is worry without merit. So whatever it is that you're stressing about, you're worrying about, it's not true. Your mind, again, is playing tricks on you. You do have the Devil here. So, I mean, I feel because you have the Nine of Swords that you're just really pessimistic about a marriage or a relationship. You feel like it's doomed. And again, I say that because of the Nine of Swords. You feel like it's doomed. You may feel like it's the end. This is being really pessimistic and being in a really dark place of fear. But there is happiness here. You have the Ten of Cups. This is a happily ever after. So again, although things may look really difficult for the sign of Virgo, they're not. Don't be deceived. Also, for some of you, you have the Devil here. This can definitely represent the sign of Capricorn for some of you. I just feel like Virgo is struggling. But I mean, the Seven of Cups 2 times tells me that you're not seeing things clearly. That's why you're being told here by the Page of Pentacles, study your situation, study your feelings for this person, their feelings for you, your past together. You don't have to be here with the Three of Swords. There does not have to be a breakup or a divorce, but you do have to take control here. Okay, so let's look at X's only, and I'm going to use this deck right here. I've already shuffled it, so let me get these out of the way. We'll keep in mind what has come up here, because sometimes the cards repeat themselves when I do the X spread. And again, for the X spread, it can be someone you are in a long-term relationship with, or maybe it's just someone that you dated and you want to know if there's still a chance or if they may contact you again. Okay, show me the energies around Virgo and their ex. You have Judgment. Virgo and their ex. Seven of Cups again. So this is important because this was a repeat card in the first spread. Virgo and their ex. The Magician. This card jumped for you in the first spread. Virgo and their ex for April. Death. Virgo and their ex. The Eight of Wands. Virgo and their ex. The Seven of Wands. Okay. So this is what you have, Virgo. And again, this is a spread for those of you where you've broken up for whatever reason. You're not together. Maybe sometimes, you know, I hear that you're still speaking, you're still on speaking terms, but you're no longer a couple. So, I mean, it's very, very significant that you have the Seven of Cups because it was a repeat card in the first spread. I'll only put one here. So technically you have it now 3 times. Now the good news is that you're starting with Judgment. So when someone is asking about an ex, this is probably one of the best cards to see because it does represent a second chance. Yes, there's still a second chance around the relationship with your ex. There can be a new beginning. And judgment also means that your relationship comes back from the dead. You're able to rise, you're able to kind of like bring a relationship back to life. That is judgment. However, there is a lot of confusion there. A whole lot of confusion around you and your ex. You know, and just kind of jumping ahead here, there can be a delay as far as seeing things happen because there is so much confusion, there's so much emotion with 3 7 of Cups popping up for you. The 7 of Cups just means that someone is completely lost. And I mean, if you know what you want, if you know that you want your ex back, then it's probably them. I mean, it's hard to tell here, you know, whether it's you or your ex, but I can just tell you kind of the energies that I see around you and this person. And I definitely see, you know, a new beginning, a second chance here, but there's, you know, there's a lack of clarity there. And for some of you, they may not know yet if they want to return. Again, they could be highly, highly confused depending on how things ended. You do have the Magician, which is significant, although it did not come up in the first spread that I did for you. It was one of the cards that jumped when I was properly shuffling, when I showed that to you, and the Page of Swords. The Magician does mean that you have to stay empowered. You can bring your ex back. I mean, nobody can really force an ex to come back to you, but you can stay in a really positive place because you did have the Devil in the first spread that I did for you. You not only had the Devil, you had the 9 of Swords, so you don't want to be in that place of fear. The Magician does mean that you can create any kind of reality that you want. This is about staying in control because you did have the Emperor as well in the first spread. But I mean, it can be that for some of you, I mean, because you did have the Page of Swords jump and then I pulled it again, so there can be communication with your ex. Especially with this card being here, although it's not a page. This is someone who's really speaking their truth and standing their ground. So it could be that maybe you have to be completely honest with your ex, and that's going to be up to you. That would be the Magician. You're going to decide if this relationship happens or not, if you're going to get back together or not. Just keep in mind that things are very confusing. I feel like there's something very confusing about Virgo and their ex. Like someone also may not know if they want to get back together yet. However, you do have Death. And Death does mean that there is an ending, but there'll be a new beginning. And it also means a renewal. There will be a huge change in the relationship with your ex. So, I mean, seeing this card and this card tells me that for many of the sign of Virgo, like there is a huge change coming up for you. And again, we're asking about someone who's no longer in your life, so this is pretty clear right here. This card usually does imply that you're waiting for a while, that there is a very exciting change coming to you concerning your ex, but it comes when you least expect it, almost when you had given up, when you thought, well, they're probably not going to come back, but they do. This can also be, you know, unexpected communication. To me, this card is a lot like the Tower, but still, you know, there's something to confront here, and it could be, you know, why things ended, or, you know, maybe they treated you very unfairly. Maybe it's the confusion that we see up there. Maybe that is you. You're confused about what happened, whether you want them back or not. There is some type of confrontation here. Perhaps some of you really have to speak your truth, because again, the Page of Swords did jump for you. And then I pulled it again when we did the whole spread. So there is some type of strong communication that needs to happen between you and your ex, and in some way the truth, somebody needs to speak the truth. I mean, the Emperor and the Magician, somebody has to take control of the relationship. That's the only way to make things work. Let me get a few more for you. Show me the energies, Virgo and their ex for April. The 4 of Wands, so this is also a repeat card. This was in the first spread. Virgo and their ex for April. Look at that. The Page of Swords again. That's pretty interesting, almost spooky. Okay, one more. Virgo and their ex for April. And the Queen of Pentacles. So that would be you because you're an earth sign. So there you go. The truth is in some way like really important. And again, you know, it could be that maybe you need to tell your ex how you really feel. Like for those of you where maybe, you know, because I've been hearing a lot of this in private readings, people saying that, you know, the ex just cut them off. They don't even know why things ended. And some people have been saying they've been holding back because, you know, they don't want to appear desperate. This is telling you it's time for the truth. The Page of Swords is someone who needs to be completely honest, and your energy is here. You do, and this also is a repeat card. The Four of Wands does mean that there's still a possibility for a relationship. Here it is. Same card. I'm glad I pulled 3 more, because it's just confirming that for you and your ex, there's still a possibility of a relationship and maybe even commitment and something long-term if that's what you wanted. Your energy is here surrounded by the truth. Virgo needs to speak the truth. You need to be completely honest with yourself and your ex. And you know, it totally ties in with the Magician and then the Emperor from the first spread. I just feel like for Virgo, like, I mean, I don't ever want to say that you have to do all the work, but the main energy from the first spread that I did for you is the Three of Pentacles. And you also have the Eight of Pentacles. So, I mean, this is a lot of work and effort into your love life. And I mean, again, the Emperor and the Magician are saying somebody has to do something here. So if you want to get back together, it could be that you have to reach out to them. So, I mean, you have 2 Page of Swords there. You have to maybe be the one to speak the truth. Maybe you need to tell them you still love them. Maybe you need to tell them you haven't forgotten about them. There are huge changes. I mean, death and judgment. There are huge changes here. But there's also a lot of confusion. They may think you don't love them anymore. They may think you moved on. You need to speak your truth. Okay, Virgo, this has been your love reading for April 2019. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you again next month.